Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day. To start things off, statistics now reveal that most crypto enthusiasts are on a spree, accumulating before the unstoppable bull run kicks in. The Bitcoin virus continues to spread. 732,000 Bitcoin addresses now own more than one Bitcoin, noted somebody on Twitter. Here's an actual chart right here for those who are not looking at the screen. In 2009, there were barely even 10,000 addresses that had a full Bitcoin, and now we have almost nearing 800,000 different addresses that have more than one complete Bitcoin. A glance at a historical chart tracking Bitcoin's active addresses indicates that active Bitcoin addresses were on their roughly all-time high towards the end of 2017. For example, on November 21st, 2017, active Bitcoin addresses stood at roughly 850,000, with January 5th registering slightly above 950,000 active addresses. However, in May of last year, the number of daily active addresses actually crossed the 1 million mark. That's insane. In December 2018, as noted by Rand Neuner, the host of CNBC Crypto Trader Show and the founder of On-Chain Capital, he said, the drop in prices hasn't deterred new users from entering the market. 2 million Bitcoin wallets since September. Many of them are institutional. Don't let the prices distract you. Someone else said, in a year, 2018, where Bitcoin has lost 80% of its value, the adoption measured by unique wallet addresses has increased by an impressive 50%, from 20 million to around 31 million wallet addresses today. It's a little, I mean, when I read the number earlier, I was like, oh, okay, that's not too bad. 700,000. And I thought that there are still 700,000, if not more, addresses that actually have one complete Bitcoin. This was a very big topic years ago because a lot of people were screaming centralization. And I think what's actually ended up happening as the years have gone on and more people have gotten into the Bitcoin space, obviously more people have been trying their darndest to accumulate an entire Bitcoin. I've noticed a lot of people in the comment section also announcing that they're trying to get an entire Bitcoin who may have 0.87 and they're trying to get to that one full Bitcoin. I think as an investment idea, I think it is probably one of the smartest things, especially if you are looking to the future of where the cryptocurrency space is going. Anyway, I myself thought this was kind of interesting. You'll understand a bit more as we kind of go through the rest of the video, because there's something happening behind the scenes, and this is why I think news is very, very important, and to give other people the news, because a lot of times I've realized that stuff is happening, and if people didn't understand what was really going on and how much Bitcoin is actually being accumulated, especially with the other cryptocurrencies, I think people would lose sight of just how little Bitcoin that there actually is out there. Anyway, that's just my idea on that, and without further ado, let's move on. So next up, financial services giant Fidelity, there we go, Investments is expected to launch Bitcoin trading services for institutional investors in the next few weeks. We know this already. Upon launch, Fidelity will buy and sell Bitcoin on behalf of its customers. In an email to Bloomberg, however, Fidelity spokeswoman Arlene Roberts said, we currently have a select set of clients we're supporting on our platform. We will continue to roll out our services over the coming weeks and months based on our clients' needs, jurisdictions, and other factors. Currently, our service offering is focused on Bitcoin. Fidelity is one of the largest asset managers in the world. In a new interview with Cointelegraph, senior market analyst for crypto trading platform eToro, name is Maddie Greenspan, says that while Fidelity's interest into the crypto space could boost the price of Bitcoin, it may take some time. He said, it seems very positive from everything that I see. They're certainly not the first institutional player to offer crypto for their clients, and they are actually very likely to be the biggest. With the demand from their clients is going to be, we'll have to wait and see, but I think that it is something that can move the liquidity of the entire market significantly. He said, well, we can really only speculate on how much money could actually flow into the market. I know that they have upwards of $1 trillion under management. I think it's like $7.4 trillion that Fidelity has. He said, let's say that 1% of that, if that goes into crypto, if all of their clients diversify with 1%, I think they may be a bit aggressive to think, but if we think about it in those terms, that could drive prices up, the price of Bitcoin anywhere from an extra $1,000 to $2,000 easily. The question, though, remains, are they going to see that kind of demand? My feeling is it will take them a while to explain to their customers how it is beneficial for their portfolio, and then it will take a while before the crypto market looks attractive enough for those customers. It could all happen at once, which I think it will. It could all happen over time. It's worth keeping an eye on. Two things. Someone mentioned in the comment section, not to shout you out person, sir or ma'am, someone was like that they left the cryptocurrency space for the last 2 years because of the prices, and then they just came back and they refound my channel, and they were really upset that the cryptocurrency space was just, and especially my channel as well, was just full of speculation, full of the same kind of talk, full of the same kind of so-and-so. I don't mean to disappoint you, but we are in a speculative market. We are in a speculative space. A lot of people are speculating on the cryptocurrency market because we are speculating on exactly how far the cryptocurrency space is going to be going over the next couple of years. No one knows the answer for sure, and this is why we have channels like this, and this is why we speculate and other people speculate on what's going to happen in the cryptocurrency space, because no one has a crystal ball. No one can tell you exactly what's going to happen. So once again, sorry to disappoint you. I read it, and it was very, very odd that it was, I mean, if you've ever been into traditional finance, if you've ever bought anything and you were kind of waiting or hoping for the price of it to go up, that's also speculative as well. You speculate on real estate. You speculate on anything that you think can potentially go up in value. So I do apologize for your sadness that the channel is mainly or roughly the same, and that the cryptocurrency market hasn't changed as much as you would have liked it to have. But anyway, I have a very strong feeling. So we're getting a lot of news and chatter happening because of the entire Fidelity thing. This happened about a good 2 weeks and some change ago. So we know that, I believe that by the end of this month, they should have already launched. They said within the next couple of weeks. I think that they would have given us a more concrete time frame if it had been July or somewhere around there. So I think either the end of this month we could get Fidelity launching, or even maybe the beginning of June. Just the idea that people from Fidelity putting their money into it could raise the price of Bitcoin by $1,000 to $1,000. I see it seems slightly believable, but I think that even people, even very large, high up people like Maddie Greenspan, tend to not really pay attention to the exact power that news can have, and that their words can have, and how much a movement in price can actually affect everyone else around the world. When we saw Bitcoin moving up from 3,200 a couple of weeks ago, it got people really excited because we hit 5,000. When we hit 5,000, people were like, okay, 6,000 is next. When we hit 6,000, everyone's like, okay, let's make it to 8,000. When we got to 8,000, we got up to around 8,500, somewhere around there. Price dipped a little tiny bit, and is even currently going back up. I think just the news of Fidelity officially launching, I think will move the price already. Like, there will be a huge amount of people who will realize that what the name of Fidelity means around the world, and they'll start buying up fractions and fractions, or even entire pieces of Bitcoin. If they convince their customers to actually put more money into Bitcoin, this will drive the price up. If we get to we're incredibly close to an $8,000 Bitcoin again. If they push the price up by $2,000 and we go over 10,000, this will be the mad rush that we've all been waiting for. So my point kind of is I think usually when people give, and I mean, to be fair, I do the exact same things. When people give numbers, we try to be a bit more conservative. I have an exact number of where I think Bitcoin is going to go this year. I won't share it with anyone because it will sound completely insane. The point is, sometimes we don't give numbers that we truly think are going to happen. I think just the news that Fidelity, even just the news that potentially all these other places during this week we're going to get into cryptocurrency, and like Microsoft like building on top of Bitcoin, caused the price to move exponentially over the course of like 4 or 5 days. So imagine when we actually have confirmation that they've officially launched, and we also have billions of dollars also additionally flowing into the market. And there's actually a little thing right here. It's a little chart that shows exactly how well that Bitcoin has done year to date. That is to say, exactly a year from this moment. It's from Binance Research, how well that Bitcoin has done. For those who are not looking at the screen, I will read it out to you. Bitcoin is up more than crude oil, tech stocks, U.S. real estate, U.S. stocks, global real estate, national resources, global bonds, U.S. bonds, gold, and agriculture. 53% higher than all of these other assets. I try to remain... I can't even think of, I have such a weird problem when it comes to like specific words in my head. I just can't find them. I've noticed a lot of people, and I don't know where they're coming from. If you've been here the whole time, excuse me. I don't mean this as an insult in any way, I promise you. I've noticed a lot of people over the last couple of 8 days, very specific time frame, as Bitcoin has been going up. A lot of people have been commenting on my channel. They have like really interesting names, like Gold Bug, or Gold is the Best, or silver warrior or really interesting things like that. Like they're clearly into precious metals. And they've been arguing with me or telling other people in the comment section not to buy into Bitcoin because Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. Gold is the true store of value. They got mad at me for telling you, everyone out there, that you should potentially look into getting cryptocurrencies as they may be beneficial for your portfolio or your wallet in the near future. And I saw so many of them that it kind of struck me as something very interesting. Like, I understand where they're kind of coming from. One of them said that the internet in its entirety is going to crash very soon. And I would have believed that had I been a lot younger and hadn't really understood that the infrastructure of the world doesn't really work like that. But even just the last couple of days where we saw Bitcoin go down by $1,000 and it's already up by a couple $100 since then. Like gold it's impossible for gold to hit those numbers. Like there isn't, I don't know how to tell you this. Around 2011, I was actually into gold and silver. I wasn't like a madman for it, but I used to pay attention to the prices. I had the apps on my phone. I used to look at the price every single day because I thought it was a really cool asset. I was like, you know, the idea of owning gold is kind of cool. Gold has not performed even slightly as well as Bitcoin has over the last 4 days. Like Bitcoin's price going down and coming back up already $300. I really don't know. I mean, everyone has their own idea as to what the greatest assets are. I was talking to another friend who's heavily into real estate, and I was trying to explain to him why he should at least think about getting a fraction of Bitcoin, if nothing else. And I mean, he's not even, I'm not being mean, but he's not even like that good at his profession. And I try to explain to him like the amount of gains that people have had just from Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies over the course of a last 5-6 years. And the overall point that I'm trying to make is that it's fairly obvious that there is an upcoming stock market crash probably in the works. We typically see stock market crashes between every 6 to 7 years. Our stock markets just celebrated their 10-year bull run, which is kind of unheard of, especially when we know that there's a lot of bad stuff happening in the economies around the world. So the party can't go on forever. And Bitcoin to date, even over the last 5 years, has exploded exponentially, and there's been no other asset on this planet that has performed as well as Bitcoin. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. This was the actual thing. There was like a chart or something from here from Bloomberg, but it's not as important anymore. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, here's a very interesting one. And an impeccable sign of the times, sources tell The Block that Coinbase may soon acquire Xapo. Now, pay attention to all of this. One of the first and most well-regarded Bitcoin custodians. This news has been divulged as data indicates that institutions are looking to siphon capital into the crypto asset space, thereby making custodians a necessity. Reported by The Block on Thursday, the San Francisco-based cryptocurrency giant Coinbase is in advanced talks to purchase Xapo, a Zurich-headquartered custodian that purportedly owns at least 5% of all Bitcoin in circulation. You did not hear that incorrectly, and actually gets even crazier. Worth billions of dollars. In fact, Xapo has been reported to store the Bitcoin in Grayscale's trust. Grayscale, for those who don't know, owns over 1% of all the Bitcoin in circulation in military vaults in Switzerland, sequestered away in mountain ranges. I mentioned that in another video. There was something I was watching. I watch multiple things. I find it very fascinating that other people don't pay attention to this. When you talk about, like, you know, not even like a sign of the times, when you talk about exactly what's going on behind the scenes, there are billionaires around the world who are buying up as much Bitcoin as possible, whether that may be over the counter, whatever the way they're trying to buy this cryptocurrency. And they are storing it in military vaults inside of mountains in Switzerland. It's all completely obvious to me. The fact that first of all, the news that Grayscale had over 1% in circulation of Bitcoin already drove me insane a couple of months ago. And I tried to explain to people in the video, and I must have seemed like a madman, just kind of rambling on about the importance of everything that was happening, especially as Bitcoin's price was complete dust at that point. I didn't even know that there was a company called Xapo in Zurich who was in mountains that has at least 5% of all Bitcoin in circulation, which I said, it actually even gets a little bit crazier as we continue to go on. Xapo, headed by Patient Zero Wences Casares, who adopted Bitcoin after he was slammed by multiple hyperinflations of the Argentinian peso, is one of the earliest startups in the space and has secured funding from the digital currency group, the Winklevoss Capital, and blockchain capital sources, who are, of course, people familiar with the matter because they never know the exact person, tell the outlet that Coinbase has an offer of $50 million and adding contingent earnouts on the table, but that Xapo has yet to shake on the proposed deal. They add that Coinbase and Fidelity's resident crypto division Digital Assets have been duking it out over the deal, which is massive in and of itself. So far, as hinted at, Coinbase has the lead and was quicker to the draw, as the budding startup looks to bolster its embryonic custody business in a renewed drive to appeal to institutional investors. I wonder myself just how many mountain ranges there are out there and caves and all this other stuff that are holding cryptocurrencies. I don't know if that's crazy to you. My brain is having trouble processing things like that, and I think I wonder, and I mean this honestly, I wonder when people hear my videos, if they hear the news that I'm talking about, going over, if they really understand the impact of what's going on. This is like, keep this one thing in mind. If there's one company who owns over 1% of Bitcoin in circulation, if there are two twins who own roughly 1.5, maybe 2% of all the Bitcoin that's floating around out there, if there's another company, big company, that owns at least 5% of all the Bitcoin in circulation, how many other, and these are 3-4 entities that we're talking about, how many other people on a planet with 7.8, 7.6 billion people are holding also 1, 2, 3, 4% of all the Bitcoin that's out there? How many early adopters who were buying Bitcoin in mass when the price was nothing? This is exactly what I was talking about when we were talking about over here, the exact addresses that own more than one Bitcoin. This is my opinion, why I think it's very important to pay attention to all the signs. Like, the world is rapidly changing. We have people storing digital code inside of mountains. They own, why do you think these super rich people, these institutions, why do you think they're gathering up as much Bitcoin as possible? Like, there's no reason. As a wealth manager, as a wealth management team, I don't even want to use the word rich person, as a wealth management service, and you tell people what they should do with their money and where they should allocate portions of their money. This is why he was talking about at least 1% of the people from, like, if they got their clients to put at least 1% of their portfolio into Bitcoin. Like, what do you think is happening behind the scenes? Where do you think all of this is going? I will tell you right now, I've been purchasing as much cryptocurrency as my wallet will allow over the last couple of months, because while I get bullish on the cryptocurrency space, news like this kind of completely sends me over the edge. And the fact that we have Fidelity, the fact that we have news that not only is Coinbase trying to get this, but one of the largest institutions, probably the largest financial institution in the entire world, Fidelity, is also bidding on this exact same thing. Why would they be bidding on this place? Why would they be so interested in a place that's storing digital code inside of a mountain? There's something happening behind the scenes because they understand exactly how big this is going to get. So, on this other article that we have right here, there's an article from Bloomberg where they actually talk about that they think that Xapo may actually have about 7% of the entire global supply of Bitcoin. That means Xapo, a company only 4 years old, holds more deposits than 98% of roughly 5,670 banks in the United States. Please pay attention to where all of this is going. It's written right before us, and I know, believe me, I understand. For those, especially for those who've been here for quite some time, I understand, and I know that you know what we're talking about, that you understand exactly where it's going. But for everyone else who's new to the game or is just not really understanding, especially the video that I made a week ago, somewhere around that time, called "How much Bitcoin should you own?" People were like, none. Bitcoin's too slow. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Man, you should definitely own Baba coin. You should, I think Bitcoin's really slow, but boopity boop coin, that coin's the fastest. And I'm like, I hope, and I mean this, I hope that you are just a scammer and that you don't believe that these coins are actually going to make it. If you don't, regardless of how slow Bitcoin is, regardless if Bitcoin remains slow forever on the main chain, Bitcoin's price is not going to stay this low forever. So like I said, I hope that you're just trying to scam people. And part two is I hope that no one fell for those scams, because I've definitely seen some comments and people are like, oh, wow, never heard of that coin before. Pay attention to the top 10 coins. That is the nicest and best information I can give you. Anyway, without staying on this for too long, I mean, the point is, if they're holding that much Bitcoin, imagine what all the other people are also holding and have been accumulating. Just imagine the percentage of Bitcoin that the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ hold. If this is one company who holds anywhere from 5 to 7%, imagine how much Fidelity themselves hold. Imagine all the other places. We've been talking about a lot of banks within Switzerland and many other places around the world who also are in the cryptocurrency space. The German Stock Exchange also now allows or rather has Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, and Ether trading. Do you think that they're not also holding Bitcoin? Do you know how much money banks have? You know, how much they can allocate 2-3% of their yearly earnings just to start buying up hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin? Anyway, yeah, pay attention. Something's happening. Let's move on. And another really weird thing that's a weird photo that I shouldn't have expected, but it definitely makes a lot of sense. Venezuela is considering to close mutual trade settlements with Russia using the ruble. Russian government-backed TV RT reported yesterday. Venezuela's representative to the United Nations in Geneva, Jorge Valero, said that they are discussing usages for the state-owned petro-cryptocurrency. Valero reportedly revealed that Venezuelan authorities are now working with Russia to find opportunities for eliminating the use of the United States dollar in trade deals between the two countries. A little backtrack right there for those of you who may have just re-entered the cryptocurrency space. Welcome to you. For those, like, if you don't know, we had a situation last year where the Venezuelan government, plagued by hyperinflation, they are currently over 1 million% hyperinflated on their currency, did a couple of things. The first one is that they actually created their own cryptocurrency called the Petro. Part of the issue is that nobody in the country was using it. And then we had a lot of reports from journalists, people in the cryptocurrency space who were walking around Venezuela actually taking photos of things inside of Venezuela. And we realized that because nobody was actually using the government's cryptocurrency, that people in the country were being forced to use the cryptocurrency. I think you had to use the cryptocurrency according to reports to be able to actually buy a passport, to be able to buy so-and-so and so. And then we also had information 2018 as well, which I thought was probably the most significant thing in the entire world. It was the beginning of the dominoes starting to fall rapidly. No one really took notice. I took notice. The Venezuelan government had announced that the only way for remittance services, that is to say to send money in and out of the country, but we're talking about money going into Venezuela, they announced that the only ways to actually do this were with the Petro, that is to say the Venezuelan cryptocurrency, or with Bitcoin and Litecoin. Meaning that there's a country out there who we were waiting for news like this for a very long time. A country had finally announced our fiat currency is crap. The only way you can send money into the country is with Bitcoin or Litecoin, and the price has barely moved. Kind of annoyed me. This is why I keep telling other people to really pay attention to what's happening around the world, because these are not the first countries to kind of allow these remittance things, or rather to announce our currency is bad. We are only accepting cryptocurrency into our country. So yeah, they're talking about using this. We also had news that Russia was maybe potentially planning on issuing something called the e-ruble, the petro ruble, the crypto ruble, is something along those lines. There were rumors that Russia was going to create their own cryptocurrency, and that there is pretty much about 5, 6, 7 major countries within the world who are currently being sanctioned by the United States for whatever the reason might be. And these countries had pretty much come to the conclusion that they could join together and start trading within themselves in cryptocurrency, as opposed to actually having to use the United States dollar. So that's the kind of the run up. So you kind of get the whole backdrop. Pretty much, U.S. said no. These countries were like, we're going to use crypto, and now they're apparently going to be using crypto. Got it? But eliminating countries, yeah. As such, 2 countries' authorities are purportedly mulling the use of the Russian ruble, as well as Venezuela's oil-backed petro digital currency, a controversial project that was first launched in February last year. There we go. Amid the economic collapse in Venezuela that is worsened amid U.S. sanctions, As well as the ongoing presidential crisis, Valero also expressed his hopes of getting Russian support in restricting Venezuela's foreign debt. The Venezuelan petro, which was designed to combat poverty and hyperinflation, was criticized by global experts for lacking global exposure. Some are also questioning whether the coin was actually backed with Venezuelan oil, as reported by Cointelegraph. Following the launch of the coin, Donald Trump banned American citizens from purchasing petro in March 2018. I don't know why anybody would even want that coin. Recently, the U.S. Treasury Department added Moscow-based bank Evrofinance Mosnar Bank to its sanctions list due to an alleged allegation that the bank represented a primary international financial institution willing to finance petro. In the statement, the U.S. Treasury described the petro as a failed project attempted to help Venezuela avoid U.S. financial sanctions. So, I don't know where to begin, but I know exactly where to end. The point is that, once again, for those who were not here in 2018, there are a number of countries around the world who are reported to be buying Bitcoin. Russia was definitely one of them. We had an economist who actually works with Vladimir Putin or something like that, who announced that the country was actually planning on spending billions of dollars to be able to buy Bitcoin. People said, no, that's a lie. That can't be true. Why would a government do that? Bitcoin's too slow. And then we had more news like a couple weeks later from the same exact guy. There are multiple countries in the world right now who are under United States sanctions. I'm pretty sure they don't like those sanctions because regardless of their politics, they're still being told what they can and cannot do with their money. The easiest way to get out of this is that a lot of them, at least I assume in some of the news that we've been having, it appears that a lot of these countries are starting to buy up Bitcoin, and that they're even thinking of creating their own cryptocurrencies. We've also seen some of these countries also talking about the adoption of a stablecoin. I assume that they're going to adopt stablecoins, whatever the case might be, before anything else, my opinion. But there's something happening right before our very eyes. There are multiple countries who are talking about issuing bonds on Bitcoin or actually using Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies to circumvent the exact use of the US dollar. I assume that it's not even just the ones that we're hearing about in the news. There are probably at least 10 other countries behind the scenes who are also considering this, because there are many other countries around the world who are going through hyperinflation. So I assume that there are at least some talks behind the scenes about them talking about either creating their own cryptocurrency or using Bitcoin or issuing something behind it. Because, I mean, the way that the world is going to work out, whether you know this or not, is that all the restrictions that we had before are going to completely disappear. When Bitcoin does end up hitting $100,000 and maybe even further one day hits $1 million, Bitcoin's price will have stabilized an enormous amount. What this will do is this will cause other, once we hit to, I'm not going to go over the significance of a six-figure Bitcoin, but the world is changing. The world is rapidly going in a digital direction. And without beating the dead horse again, I think I'm going to end the discussion there because, yeah, it's kind of crazy. At the moment, over the last 24 hours, the prices are definitely going back up. I think Bitcoin hit 6,900 about a day or two ago. And there was, I feel, no real need for the entire market thing. It was a lot of speculation as to why the market even dropped in the first place, but prices are still definitely going up. Binance coin is once again over $25. It's just the most resilient coin in the entire world. Right. I think I'm going to end the video there. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Hope it's absolutely fantastic. We live in a very interesting world. I don't know if you realize that. For some reason, BitTorrent coin is also up by 30%. Because why not nowadays? As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, SC Verzely Fine Art, Crypto and Beer, Shipmate, Brady Niels, L. Doug, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, Shaolin Fried Rice, Gilboa Snake, Crypto Joe, Mohair Maroney, Carl Birchenoff, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Rai, Yasha Harari, Amy Starsheen, Jeffrey Ramsey, Cryptnotic, Clara T. Snowden, Crypto Artist Cody 3D, Nicholas, One Earth, One Piece, One Love, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, RF Dusty, Cody, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Minting Coins, Arthur Yaku, Nick Mangelavori, and Anthony Charles. Thank you all very much. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all have a great day. Hope you all have a great weekend. Make sure to go outside and do something. If you can't go outside, invite your friends over, have fun, do something. Make sure to laugh and be merry. The cryptocurrency market is going to recover. I expect relatively soon. That's just how I feel. I feel we're going to get some... No, I won't say that. I was going to say Fidelity might announce something this week. I'm not trying to get everybody's hopes up. I'll get my own hopes up, just in case. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. And I will definitely talk to you all soon. See you.